603 0603. Repeat now.
DEPT 060.
Okay. Okay, so no data available. Now what we will do, we are going to run the integration, activate that. Activate the integration. So whatever the payload I have, right? So let's pass this payload. So in this payload also, for department number 129, so the data map to here 129 here, see 129. So 129 have a 2 employees are there. So this is just a sample data, guys. But in the real time, the client will give this data to you, and we need to run this payload at the trigger endpoint, and then it will store the data. So the mapping of the columns, everything will be taken care by client system. So only our responsibility is to build the integration and pass this payload, and then test whether this payload is the data storing into tables or not. So copy this one. Run, run this one. So now you tell me, guys, when you press the run button, so your response will come or not? Response will come or not? Yes or no? Hmm?
We are not selected response related option.
Very good. So we have not defined the response option, right? So response will not come here. So click on run. Hmm? So this response do not to accept it is coming. This is standard response. But so actual, like when we define the REST endpoint for the concatenation of the two strings, so that time we have defined the response. So that is the reason that time we got the response here. But here we have not defined the response in the REST trigger point. So that is the reason it is not coming anything. So now what happened? So whatever the data we have passed to the payload to this integration, so the data has taken and sent to the database tables. If you want, you can verify. 3 records. Employee table also you can verify. So for 129 we have a 2 employees are there. For 120 we have 2 employees. For 134 we have a 2 employees. Like that. Understand or not? Understand or not, guys?
Understand, sir.
So if you want to test this REST endpoint from the Postman tool, so this is where testing in the where integration instance, right? But in third-party system, they will not have integration instance access, right? So how to test this in the Postman tool? Anyone can tell? So basically, before we give it to the third-party system, we need to test in the Postman, right? So this REST this integration we are testing only developer testing, right? But always when we give it to the third party system, we need to test in the Postman. So now you tell me how to test this integration in the Postman. Anyone can tell? We already discussed now. Anyone can tell?
Now, what is the question, Vamsi?
See, this integration we are testing in the integration instance, right? So that is our developer environment where we can test. But when we give it to this integration URL to third party system, how we can test it in the Postman?
We can go to endpoint metadata and copy the URL.
Yeah, correct. So we can
Endpoint
take
URL.
the, yeah, correct. So take the endpoint URL. So always you take the endpoint URL, copy this one, and go to the Postman tool. So now what we do? Okay, so you can create one add request. Okay, otherwise you can create one collection. Integration, huh? Integration test. Physical integration. Okay, so here what you can do, add request. Add request. So now you tell me, guys, this is the get or post? Get or
Post.
post? Post.
Post.
Post. Here we can use the insert apt emp. Huh? Now what we will do, authorization, I will pass here basic authentication. Basic authentication. Okay. I will bring the password. Okay. Go to the body. Station. Copy this one. Pass the payload here. Pass the payload. Remove the data here. Because same data we are passing, right? The primary key violation issue will come. So now run the integration in the Postman. Click on send. Do not to accepted. Do not to accepted, and you will see the. So we have deleted the records, right? So again we ran the integration from the Postman to verify the data stored or not. Data stored. Understand guys how to run the integration from the Postman? So when you give the integration URL to the third party system, so we need to test in the Postman, not in the integration tool. If it is working here, definitely 100% will work there also, but safer side, you have to test here and then hand over this URL to the third party system. So they will call in their system. So they will call into their system. Their system have a Python or anything. So their system, they are using Python or SAP, different platforms they will use. But this REST endpoint will execute if it is working in the Postman. So anywhere it will work. Anywhere it will work. Understand or not, guys? So this is the way you can create the custom REST endpoints and insert the data to the table, and we can send the data as a file into third-party system. So like that, based on the requirement, we can create the REST connection and REST trigger, and it will create the URL. That URL will be taken care to load the data or send the file to some other system, send the file to UCM. So many things we can do. So this is the one of the example I have shown to store the data into tables.
Sir,
Any
can
question?
you show where we can get the endpoint URL?
So it's simple now. So when you run the integration, this window will be open, right? So click on endpoint metadata. So this one.
Okay, sir.
So any question you can ask me, guys. If you don't have any question. So next integration, guys. Next integration, I will show you multiple REST endpoints in one single integration. Once again, I'm asking you any question, any steps. If you want to, if you miss, you can ask me. I can tell. Okay. REST integration, multiple REST endpoints. Create the REST integration with multiple REST endpoints. Okay. Create the REST integration with multiple REST endpoints. So in this example, we have discussed only for one REST endpoints, right? But one integration, we can create multiple REST endpoints. So if you look at this one, in this one, what is that? OER. The OER. One business object, we can see multiple REST endpoints, right? Will you observe? Integrate. Review REST API services. The banks. So if you see one business object, bank is the one business object. So there are the multiple REST endpoints, right? So here all the path is same, right? So if you see the path is same, right? For every REST endpoint, path is same, right? But only thing is for delete, you need to pass a parameter. For get a bank, we need to pass a parameter. So only you need to change the method name, right? Method name is different, right? So remaining everything is same, right? So that means one business object, we can have multiple REST endpoints. So same scenario. So we are also going to create one REST integration with multiple REST endpoints. So one is get, another one is get all, another one is get all post,
Delete one method.
whatever. Yeah,
Delete.
delete also will cover. Everything will cover in one integration. So endpoints are multiple. So in previous example, what I have covered, I have covered only single integration, single REST endpoint. So we can cover multiple REST endpoints with single integration. So click on this. Create. So application integration I am taking. REST integration, multiple endpoints. Instead of integration, I will say REST INT, multiple endpoints. Okay, so REST integration, multiple endpoints. So now what we will do, we are going to take the starting trigger point will be REST trigger. I think did I selected the checkbox? REST multiple endpoints. Click on create. Here, okay, here no. Got it. So here we need to do. So go to the starting trigger point, REST trigger. So this one. So maximum 11 endpoints we can create in one integration. So this is the one of the interview question. How many REST endpoints we can create for one REST integration? So you can say answer maximum 11. Like this one. Okay. So first REST endpoint I'm taking same insert DEPT. Insert DEPT. So this time we will use the response. And post method. And we are not going to pass any parameter. We are going to pass the payload. Understand, right? Insert. Insert DEPT. So I'm using the post method. So this is the payload, post request payload for this endpoint. Configure this endpoint to receive the response. You can continue. Pass the sample payload. So we are passing the sample payload. Why we are passing? Because we need to tell the integration. In the department, we have 3 columns are there. Employees, we have 5 columns are there. So whatever the columns are there, we need to, so integration will create the structure of the structure. If you observe or not, so because of this request payload, in the left side, the columns will come, right? Did you observe or not? So because of this structure only, we need to tell the integration. So in our department payload, we have 3 columns are there. Employee payload, we have 6 columns are there. So that is the way we are passing the sample payload here. So this information you will see in the mapper left side, you will come, right? Left side it will come or not? Maybe if you observe here, so these columns only it will come in the left side. If you are not passing the payload, how the integration know how many columns are there? How many column data we need to send to the respective database? So that is the reason we are passing the sample payload. Continue. Now when I click the continue, so this is the request, right? Response window will come or not? Response window will come or not?
response window will come, sir.
Okay, very good. In the response window, what we are going to do, we want to get the response like this. In the response window, we want to get the status. Just pass the sample payload completed. Message. Inserted. Success. So this is the first REST endpoint. So if you want to create another REST endpoint, click on add another option. Or you can continue. Later also you can add another option. Understand or not? So click on it. Okay. You want me to continue, or I will come back and I will add another option? How do you want? How do you want me to proceed?
Come back and add another lesson.
Okay. Continue. Finish. Okay, now it is coming response, right? Did you observe? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So in the previous example, you will not see this one, right? So there is a stop symbol came. So that means, as I'm telling you, so if integration, in the integration, it is coming the response here. That is called synchronous integration. That is called synchronous integration. Sync means, so immediately the integration will give the response. So if the integration will not give the response, so whenever the response will come, that time it will take. That is called async integration. So most of the time interview question thing, this one. Synchronous integration, always you will see the response. This is the response. And asynchronous integration, it will not, asynchronous also, it will take the response, but it will not wait for the response. Whenever the response will come, that time only it will take. In the coming classes, more clarity I will give you on the asynchronous integrations. So when we'll go for the synchronous and asynchronous. Asynchronous means, for example, if you have large amount of data is there, so the data loading. So then once the data loaded completed, then only it will receive the response. That is called async. Synchronous integration, always it will wait, it will immediately expect for the response. That is called synchronous integrations. So it will receive the response immediately. That is called synchronous integrations. Now what we will do here, I am going to add one more here. Okay. Click on continue. This we already done, right? Okay. We add another option. Continue. So this time what we will do, we will go for the get specific employee data. Get specific employee data, we will see. Get specific employee data, we will see. Get specific employee. So for get specific employee, we need to pass the parameters. For get specific employee, we need to pass the parameters. Get specific employee, I am passing the parameter employee number. If you see here, so for get specific employee, I am passing the parameter. The Oracle standard REST endpoint is passing the parameter, right? Same way here also I am passing the parameter. To make sure that here you can put the slash get. So automatically this checkbox came, and I am not going to pass the payload, and I want to receive the response. So what response you want to receive? The response will be in the JSON format. So did you observe, guys, when we run the bank REST API, so with the parameter, so what data came? Tell me. No, we already discussed now how the data came. Did you observe or not that time? So get specific bank. So here you will see how the data came. Did you observe that time? So it is came this kind of format, right? Correct or not? So this kind of format came or not that time?
Yes.
When we run the same way, so even in our integration also, we want to get the response in this format. Understand or not? So tell me, guys, now in the request, employee number I am passing. So do we have to pass any payload? No, right? So payload not required in the request. So in the response, what you need to pass? You need to pass like this. Understand or not? Continue. Continue. So we got the insert and we got the specific employee data. So specific employee data we added, right? So now what we will do, we'll get all the employee data. We'll get all the employee data without passing the parameter. So click on add another option. So for all employee data, all EMP data, forget all EMP data. We need to pass the parameter or not? No. Get all employee data, we need to pass the parameter or not?
Yeah, we
Yes.
need to pass it.
Yeah. Here when we are using the get all, did they are passing any parameter?
Get all no.
So that is the reason. See, we have to follow standard, guys. Standard REST APIs, how they have configured. So we have to follow same thing in integration also. So we are not going to pass any parameter, and we need to receive the response here. So which option I need to select, guys? Here 3 options are there. Which option I need to select?
Third option.
Very good. Third option, correct. Now you tell me, Ashok and other members. So directly it is came response. Here the payload will be single or double?
Multiple employees.
Multiple employees, right? So multiple employees, always we have a employees. Doubt now you can go here. suppose employees is the repeating frame. Again, array. So 2 records are there. Copy this one. So why we are passing multiple records? Previous one I have passed only single set.
Here we are using get all option.
Get all option, correct. Here we are using get all option. The employees will be multiple. So we need to get the repeating frame. In the mapper, you need to get the repeating frame or not? No.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So get all we have used, and insert we have used, get specific employee we have used, and then we will use another one, delete. I will use the delete. So delete specific employee. So for delete specific employee, instead of delete specific employee, you will use the post. So you will use the parameter, but this time we will use the query parameters. We will use the query parameters. So I'm not going to pass any payload, but I want to receive the response. Click on continue. Here I will use the query parameter. EMP number I will pass the data type. So I'm using the query parameter. So what is the difference between the query parameter and the path parameters, guys? Template parameters. We discussed or not? We discussed, right? Query parameters we discussed or not? Yeah, continue. Pass the sample payload. Status. Message. Successfully created. Successfully created. Continue. So we have defined the insert, get all, delete. 4 REST endpoints we have defined. Continue. Now you will see the become like this. Understand or not? So this is the first REST endpoint, second, third, and fourth. And guys, here we have defined the endpoints, right? But we have not done any development, right? So development means what? You know, right? Development. What is mean by development? So what do you mean by development?
You did not map or anything.
Yeah, map or everything we have not done. That we are going to do now here. So here we are going to get the response. So this mapper will get the response. Okay. And then what we need to do here, click on plus and And what we will do here, click on ATP database. Insert. The same steps, whatever I have done, right? Same thing you need to follow. Perform an operation on the table. So you can insert. So which schema we need to use? When schema we need to use. So what table name we need to use? What table name we need to use? Import tables. Table name. Here relationship. Okay, you want to add one more table, right? Add one more table.
EMP 0603.
16. So now we need to give the relation between these two tables. So how to give the relation? Click on edit. Create new relation. What is the parent table? Department. Child table is employee. So if because of this region, so because we are giving the we are giving the linkage, right? So linking because of this region. Because of this region, we are not getting the mapper column in the employee level because of this region. Understand, right? Continue. So using this mapper, what we will do? So we have defined the request, right? I told you, right? We have maintained the structure, right? Structure we have created, right? In the request payload. So that is the reason it is coming here. The response. So this is the repeating frame. Department number. Department name. Location. So department number not there. In the response, what I need to define? In the response, I have passed the sample payload, but we need to define the actual values, right? In the response, what you will do? You create the target node. So you mention success. So this is the hard coding I am doing, guys. Success. Right click, create target node, insert success. Sample payload, whatever you define, that is fine. But so you need to define in the mapper to get the updated values. while you define the REST trigger response and request, whatever the sample payload you can define, that's fine. But ultimately we need to define in the mapper. So this is the values only it will come in the when we run the integration, the response will come. This values will come. Understand now, guys? See the changes. So get specific employee, how to define? Anyone can tell? Get specific employee. Get specific employee, how to define? Click on ATP. Specific employee. So now you tell me, guys, which option I need to select? Perform an operation. Which option I need to select?
Select.
Select option.
Select
Select.
option. Select option. Schema admin. EMP 0603 search. Import. So here we need to pass the parameter, right? We need to pass the parameter or not?
Yes, sir, we have selected the select option.
So we have to pass the parameter. In the parameter, we need to define P employee number. P employee number add new. P employee number parameter. Continue. Continue. So now what you will do, whatever the parameter you define, right? So in the REST trigger, we have passed the parameter, right? Template parameter. So this name and what? So when you enter the value for the employee number in the trigger endpoint, that value will be passed to query. Query we have defined the P employee number. So this value will be passed to here. And what response you want to configure? Tell me. So the response will come or not? Response will come or not? Specific employee response will come, right? Response come or not? So pause this one. Response single record or multiple records?
Single record.
Single record.
Single record. So
But
that is why it
one-
is na. Yeah.
Here also it is showing repeating frame, right? EMP
Database,
603.
right? But when we define the response payload, we have created only one single data set, right? Single set, right? That is the reason here repeating frame not coming. So database always it will give repeating only. Database did not understand, right? For example, even you pass the parameter, it will come multiple records also, right? Sometime.
Yes.
That is the reason it is coming repeating. So, but we don't need to pass, right? We don't need to map this repeating element to the payload, right? In the response payload.
Yes.
So that's not a matter. That's not a problem also.
Okay.
Save the changes. So these two we'll see tomorrow class.